Members, I now invite Councillor John Forsyth, Mayor Alpine Shire Council, onto the floor of the Chamber to address the House.
Mr. President, members of the Legislative Council, guests, my fellow councillors, it is fantastic for me to be able to welcome you all here today to this glorious venue during an exceptional season, which is just part of the incredible Alpine Shire's yearly calendar. I would like now to recognise the President's acknowledgement to country for today's sitting. Thank you. Our Shire covers 5,000 square kilometres with over 90% national parks and Crown land, stretching from Dedorang to Mount Beauty and then up to Falls Creek in the Kiewa Valley, and across in the Ovens Valley, which is dominated by the presence of Mount Buffalo, which stretches from Gapstead through to Myrtleford, Bright to Harriettville. And then if you follow the Great Alpine Road further, you ascend through the Alpine National Park, passing through Mount Hotham Resort before arriving at our unique Alpine township of Dinner Plain. Our villages and towns are one of a kind, a spectacular combination of unspoiled nature, crystal clear water, country hospitality, and incomparable food, wine, and fresh produce, which you will no doubt take part of at lunchtime today. Our communities are primarily supported by a thriving visitor economy, diverse agricultural pursuits and forestry, from softwood plantations through to the timber mill, which is value-adding, the hop farms, which you've all seen. We would like to see more breweries here, value-adding, and the timber industry itself accounts for nearly 25% of the workforce in Myrtleford alone. As you know, our region has suffered one setback after another over the past 16 months. When the 2019 bushfires hit during the peak summer tourism season, our towns went from full population, full people, to completely empty in a single day. Emergencies are a way of life here, particularly in the summer, but the necessary mass evacuation of our towns in the peak of tourist season was a blow to local businesses. 29% of the Shire was directly impacted by the bushfires. Thousands of people were evacuated from their homes, many people more than once. It had a serious impact on our local economy that never really recovered from before COVID again struck. We were lucky enough not to be too hard hit by the fire on the ground. One home was lost in the Alpine Shire, while communities in our neighbouring municipalities of Towong and East Gippsland suffered much more physical damage. Our impact was mostly economic, and that impact was huge. Loss of tourism income for businesses and families was estimated at $90 million. Over 2,000 hectares of softwood plantations were burnt, and that will have an effect in the years to come as we run out of softwood timber for processing. The 2020 wine vintage was written off by smoke damage. If any of you ever tried smoke-damaged wine, it is not pleasant. As I said, one home was lost, but many farms' assets were destroyed. Our community recovery is ongoing, not simply the economic, but also the social and psychological. 2020 was certainly a year of highs and lows, from the loss of the summer visitor season, as I mentioned during the bushfires, to the buoyancy that was in the air when superstar Katy Perry performed in Bright, just out there actually, and then to the COVID-19 lockdowns that came just days later. Our communities have been through a lot. Our businesses, still trying to regain their feet after the bushfire season, suddenly found themselves unable to trade, working to adapt to a constantly changing way of life and a new unfamiliar threat. As the pandemic went on, the ski resorts opened however, only for a short time. And then the hope of a strong winter went out the door too. So, as we call it, it was a double whammy for our businesses. Winter is so important to our valleys. There's a vital relationship between the Alpine Resorts and Alpine Township of Dinner Plain with the towns in the valleys. Between them, they create the ideal winter offering, a winter wonderland and an off-mountain adventure, activity, food and wine. The Alpine Resorts are a lifeblood for our valley townships during winter and a way for many in our communities to make the most of the winter lifestyle, which is the reason so many come here, and I'm glad that you're here during autumn. You'll see it. Come back in winter, please. The unique Alpine Township of Dinner Plain has a ski run, mountain bike trails, and one of the country's longest toboggan runs. In fact, we get probably 450 people a day using that toboggan run. In just 10 minutes, and it is just 10 minutes from Hotham by bus, well worth a visit, winter or summer. Dinner Plain is the highest freehold village in Australia and the only snow village operated by a council and has an economy solely reliant on the tourism industry. Following on from the curtailed snow season came the New South Wales border closures and the fiasco of the border bubbles and the various postcode issues that we had, cutting people off from family, friends, schools and workplaces. Our communities have been truly tested, but I'm so proud to say they continue to rally in the face of adversity. The resilience, determination and overall decency I have seen from so many residents and business operators over the past 16 months has been absolutely inspiring. As a council, we're extremely proud and honoured to represent a community that continues to face every new challenge with a smile on their face and a positive outlook. After this journey, it's fantastic that we can do this here today in a COVID-safe and finally and friendly way, and actually welcome you here. We're continuing to work with our community and businesses on their recovery from bushfires and COVID-19. We've enjoyed a resurgence in visitor numbers since November, and it seems to be maintaining. And we're just seeing a constant stream of visitors now. Tourism is critical to our economy and that of the broader region. The boom in domestic tourism has led to business summer we've never seen. No signs of it slowing down. The upcoming snow season is expected to attract a record number of visitors as people make the most of what the region has to offer. Unfortunately, however, our businesses and broader community are facing a relatively new challenge, which impact their ability to manage this demand, and that is housing availability. A high number of short-term rentals for our short-term residents, coupled with an increase in people moving to the Shire, is causing a shortage in the availability of housing for those key workers who are so vital to our tourism, hospitality, education, service and health industries. Holiday accommodation is essential to our local economy, but we've reached an imbalance where the high numbers of holiday rentals are causing strain on our community and businesses. This in turn is impacting on the sustainability of our local economy. We know we're not alone in the country or in this state with this issue and share it with others. And hopefully over this next 24, 48 hours, with the number of brilliant brains amongst us, we might come up with some solutions to this problem. We know there is no quick fix, but that a solution is a case for all levels of government and communities. An idea is mostly inspirational and quite often aspirational. This leads to that idea being conversational and after time, doable. We, in all levels of government, then owe it to our communities to show that these ideas are achievable. In closing, I would just encourage you while you are here to talk to our businesses and our communities. Just get out there and talk amongst them and you will find out an insight into some of the personal journeys that have occurred since late 2019 to now. As we heard last night, 4 in 10 people are still not really doing that well. In closing, I would like to thank our council officers, the army of staff that you've brought from Melbourne with you, and from the Parliament of Victoria for their hard work and presenting this place as it is today. As somebody just said to me earlier, they wouldn't know they weren't in Melbourne, but please look outside and you do realise that. And as I say, many hands make light work. So thank you very much and welcome, and I hope you thoroughly enjoy your stay. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.